WSL Coach of the Year, Orlando Pride Seb Hines. We will start with questions in the room. Tom
Pursley with Shea Butter FC. Coach, congratulations on winning the Coach of the Year award. As the player pool in this league gets more diverse, with your coaching staff, with Yolanda, with you, with Giles, what does it mean to you that your coaching staff reflects the growing diversity of the league?
Yeah, I've always felt the responsibility to, take it upon myself to show that we're going in the right direction. It's not all about winning. It's about, paving a pathway for others for that sort of opportunity. And so I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity to lead this team. I've got a great staff with Giles, Yolanda, Paul, the rest of my staff. And so, we just want to continue to show growth with the diversity that we've shown with this club. And, just continue to be a representative of, more black coaches in this league and many more leagues.
Thanks, Tom. Next question. Justin?
Rare that a team can win the NWSL Shield and then still go on to win the NWSL Cup. It hasn't happened very often. Have you had time to give much thought to just the potential of that historic double and just thoughts going into that match tomorrow with that on the line?
Yeah, let's just put it into perspective, right? So you play 26 games in a season. We're in our 43rd week, I think, since the start of pre-season. And just to show that level of consistency throughout the season up until this point is very difficult and very demanding. And so a lot of credit has to go to the team, the players, the staff, to continue to ultimately win games, stay unbeaten, win the Shield. There was a period where obviously we lost 2 games after the Shield, and we had doubters at that point, people talking about you needed momentum to get into the playoffs and continue to do that throughout the playoff schedule. And we've shown our character. We've been waiting for this opportunity since we won the Shield. And we've shown our quality in the last 2 games, both against a great Chicago side and Kansas City side. And here we are today playing, the second place team in the league. And that's how it should be, right? It should be 1 versus 2 because you've got 2 teams that have been the most consistent throughout this year. So, here we are. We set our goals out for the start of the year. We've achieved so much so far. Breaking a lot of records, winning the Shield, winning some silverware, and we want one more trophy.
All right, thanks, Justin. We're going to come up front. Steve?
Hi, Seb. Steve Goff from the Washington Post. I was wondering if you could maybe talk about perhaps your appreciation for what's going to happen tomorrow night in the big picture, playing in this stadium, the crowd, Marta having this spotlight moment, just what this means to the league and to women's soccer overall.
I think it's just continuing to grow. Here we are, sat in this beautiful stadium, a women's specific stadium. You can show the investment that the Kansas City current ownership have put into building something so spectacular. And not only just this, their training facility as well. And so we want to continue to see the growth in this league. And again, not just this league, women's soccer in general. And it's the same for, our ownership group as well. We have our own facility. We have obviously we share a stadium, but, to bring someone like Barbara Banda to our club, it shows the investment that the Will family have put into our success. And so, I was listening to Kylie, when you put investment and resources in front of teams, you can see what it can bring. And so we just want to see that continue, not just for this year, for many more years to come.
And we're going to come down here to Emily, and then we'll come back to Tamara.
Thank you. Emily Olson with The Athletic. To build off of that, you've been around Orlando as an organization since the beginning of the Pride, really. Obviously not always on the women's side, but for you personally to be in this moment, to be the person leading such a turning point for the club, what does it mean to you, and what would it mean to kind of, you have one trophy, but add a second one to what this has been?
Yeah, I think, I mean, with the Shield, it probably doesn't get enough credibility because, you know, here we are in the championship game and you can see around you there's a lot of hype around it. But it would mean the world. You know, I've been in Orlando for 10 years. I've represented the MLS side. I've worked with the youth landscape as well. You know, my family has been brought up in it here. You know, I have a lot of friends, colleagues, everything in Orlando. And so I've always felt like my job was to bring success here. I would not have taken this job on if I didn't believe in myself. And so, you know, to crown it off with a championship win would mean the world to not only me and the team, but the community as well, because they've been through a lot also.
All right, we're going to go to Tamara.
Hi, Tamara Griffin. Congratulations on your award this season. Can you talk about your relationship to pressure throughout this season? I think teams that identify with maybe an underdog mentality feel a different sense of pressure than a team that has been sitting top of the table most of the season. The Orlando Pride, you can say, have sort of embodied both of those things. And even to the point that was made earlier, being a black coach and making the achievements that you have, you and your whole coaching staff, there's sometimes a pressure that comes with that, knowing that your success might determine opportunities for people who might want to follow in those same footsteps. So what's your relationship been with the concept of pressure, and how have you sort of guided the team through the ups and downs of that over the season? Yeah,
there's a couple of points to that. I mean, you know, pressure is a privilege. You've heard it many of times. We're in an industry where winning matters, and there's not a lot of room for error. And so we have been through some tough times. You know, we've gone through adversity. You know, last year we lost our first 4 games, and you're thinking, where's this win gonna come? But we were making great strides forward. We were doing the right things, and you know, we barely missed out on playoffs last year. And so we took that momentum going into this year. You know, the players and myself set goals. We took it game by game. And yeah, we had an underdog mentality because we've been wrote off so much in the history of Pride. And so we've just kind of used that as our mindset. We don't forget about, you know, what people said about us. You know, you've got players who are still trying to establish themselves within the league, who haven't really made a name for themselves. It was almost like Marta's team and everyone else. And so you can see now, you know, when you've got belief around the team, what they can achieve. And so we've never really felt that sort of pressure as a team, because no one's really ever put us on that. And we've just taken it game by game, and here we are, the last game of the year in the championship. So yeah, it's more of an excitement. There's a rawness within the team. It's, you know, we've never, not many of us have been in this position, and so there's an excitement to see what this game can bring for us.
All right, thanks. We're going to go to Steph and then Theo.
Hi, Coach. Steph Young, The Athletic. You talked about when you were helping rebuild the team, and at the beginning of this season, you wanted players to basically feel like, you know, you own the badge now. This is your club. You run it. And then, you know, you talked about players coming into preseason already fit because they wanted it so badly. I'm just wondering, in terms of stuff like that off the field, obviously we see the wins on the field, but off the field, what does that functionally looked like throughout this season, and asking players like, you own the badge now?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone was there for that last game of the season last year when we played Houston and we won the game, and, you know, all the emotions, the high emotions when we scored and thought we were going into playoffs, to then have the disappointment of not. You could see a real hunger. Anytime there's a negative, we don't see it as a blessing, and I think that was a real blessing for us, not making the playoffs last year, because there was a real hunger to come in early, make sure we don't feel that way again. And so that's a testament to the players, the staff, everyone who's involved in this team, to be like, okay, we can really achieve something special this year. And so making sure that everyone is aligned in what our goals are, what it means to this club. We've got players who've been here multiple years, two that was just sat here earlier, and really defining what it means to play for this team and play for this community and this city. And so when you've got players who can really guide any player that comes into this environment, it goes a long way. And so they've really helped with this process, and it can't always come from my voice. They own the changing room. I've said it many of times, championships are won in the changing room, and so when you've got a tight group like we do today, you can see what they can achieve on the field as well.
All right, thanks. Theo?
Hello? Yes. Hi, Theo Lloyd Hughes. Seb, you told me yesterday that you don't love being the center of attention. You said that's like not your preferred position. Yeah. Over the past 2.5 years, kind of since you became a head coach, how have you adjusted to being in a room like this, surrounded by cameras, having to constantly talk to people, be at the front of meetings? How have you kind of adapted or changed or grown to be the center of attention?
I guess it just comes with a job, right? I don't have a choice, so I'm here, sat here. But I guess it comes with success as well, and so it's part of the role that I play. Again, a responsibility to show a pathway to others. I start as a volunteer. I finished my playing career, came in, volunteered for 2 years as an assistant coach, and then worked up the ladder. And so when you hear stories like mine, it shows that others can achieve what I'm achieving right now. And so it's a responsibility to sit here today and tell my story, and hopefully I can inspire more people to go for it.
All right, we're going to head to the back row.
Hi, Seb. Rowie Hadar. I just wanted to follow up on something I saw a lot of yesterday, which was a lot of joy at training. It seemed like there was a lot of laughing and messing around. At Media Day, I noticed Ali Watt taking pictures, all the references to you being a proud dad for Emily Sams winning. And players spoke about how much the culture changed, even from when you were an interim coach. How much has sort of joy and appreciating the game and the moments factored into you building that culture, and even letting the locker room, the change room, define what it means to represent this team in the city?
I mean, we all love our jobs, right? So you've got to enjoy every moment. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't enjoy it. And so I've got great people around me, my staff, the team, the players, and, everyone enjoys coming into work. And it's not always fun. It's not always laughing. I'll tell you that. But we do enjoy our time together. We spend so much time together. Like I said, it's our 43rd week, I think, this year that we've spent time together. And so just making sure that everybody feels comfortable in who they are. They can express themselves not only on the field but off the field as well. And that's kind of what we've built. What you see is what you get, and that's who I am. I won't change. I've never changed from being an assistant coach, a player, or a head coach, and I think that really helps build that environment and that culture.
All right, thanks. We're going to head to the Zoom. First question goes to Austin David. Austin?
I want to ask you about your coaching staff, specifically Giles Barnes. Having someone that is kind of growing with you in this role, be able to advocate with you every step of the way, and especially for someone you've grown up with, having played together in the youth national team in England, to now have him with you, how beneficial is it just to have someone like that you've known for so long help you with this journey?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, right? Because, like you said there, we've grown up together. We've known each other since we were 13 years old, competing at youth level, being teammates, youth England national team. I finished my last year at Orlando with him on the field as well, and so our paths are very similar. Youth soccer, working our way up to both being assistant coaches, and so it's been really beneficial to my success. We both see the game the same way. Obviously, he was a forward, I was a defender, but we've also seen the evolution of the game, and so we want to continue to learn, to grow. We're still relatively young as well, so there's a lot of growth in our understanding of being coaches, and so it's been really helpful to have someone like Giles along my journey till this point.
Okay, and then we're going to go to Jonathan Ward.
Hey Seb, Jonathan Ward with United Women's Soccer. You played Washington twice this year, and you've been successful in both matches. Is this just another match, or is there something special? Do you throw another wrinkle in tactics? What are you looking forward to tomorrow as it relates to the match and the potential outcome that could be there for you?
Yeah, I don't think you can look at the previous results and think it's going to be the same outcome either. I think if you look at the first game, we were missing some key players in Marta and Adriana. In the second game, they were missing some key players also when we won the Shield, and so it'll be nice to see both teams relatively at full strength going into this game. And also, it's not just any old game; it's a championship final in a neutral ground, and so I would expect a very competitive game. Like I said before, it's two teams who've been the most consistent throughout the season. Equal amount of wins as well, and so we're just really excited to be here and representing this club and our city on the biggest stage in this country.
All right. Do we have any more questions in the room? Okay, well, that is it for Coach Hines.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll be heading out in just a few minutes. Also, there are box lunches over by the buffet if you are hungry. Go grab yourself one. Thanks, everybody.